Hey everyone, thanks for coming in to check out the 900 Global Volatility Ball Review. This is the Free Agent Bowler. If you're new to the channel, I appreciate you coming in and thank you for being here. If you're coming back, you rock, buddy. Appreciate it. Before we get going, let me give you my 3 guarantees as always. Number 1, I'm a non-staffer. This is a non-staff review. I wasn't given this ball, I was not comped this ball, and I will not edit a bunch of pretty shots together. I want you to see hits, misses, and everything in between because it's important. Number 2, every ball I use has at least 10 games on it. This one actually has 14, so even though you're going to see me shoot one full game here, this review is really compiled by the aggregate of all of my experiences with this ball. And then last, guys, is real simple. It's just honesty. Nothing to gain, everything to lose by doing it any other way. So let's get right to the specs here. 40 by 4.5 by 30 drilling, which is a new drilling for me. But I'm excited to see what it does in other pieces because I actually do like it. It's got a factory 2000 finish, 249 RG050 differential, S86 hybrid cover. So for those of you that don't know, the S number, when it's higher, the stronger the ball is. So a lot of potential for this thing to move. Let's see what happens here. All right, here we go into frame 1. Based off of past experience, I said, all right, let's get this out. Let's let this thing come back, see what it does. Basically go 15-4 on this one, and the ball didn't come back, which was kind of strange for me to see because, to be frank, this is the first time I've seen that, but this was a very, very heavy pattern. This is a fire and ice double oil, and it was really, really heavy. I had to be very, very careful with my speed. So second frame here, I said, all right, let's get this one in, go with the high hard one, see how it finishes. And you see it finishes beautifully through the pocket. That's really, when all else fails, that's where I go to see what I have, and then I adjust from there. So from there, I start playing that 16-7, 17-7, 15-6, somewhere in that range, because that's really where I was able to utilize what this ball does well. Try to increase that angle and really get the ball through the pins. This one trips a 10 and deflects a little bit, and that really is atypical in my experience with this ball. This ball is a big ball. It hooks a lot. There's a lot of people who are like, oh my God, it hooks so much, you know, and it does. It does hook a lot, but it's not an unusable motion, and deflection is not something that I've seen very much of at all with this ball. Here we go again. You know, you'll see it comes through, and it just deflects a hair. But again, I think it's partially the pattern and less the ball. And really me throwing it. I don't always hit the best spot. So, but there we go. That ball finishes very strong through the pocket. In my experience with this ball, though, this is a big hooking ball, like I said, but it's not an unusable hooking ball. In the last year, there's been some big asymmetric pieces that have come out that are strong for the sake of being strong and really don't have any other redeeming qualities, and that's not the case with this ball. This one is, if there's one hallmark of this ball, and I think you may have picked it up by now, and maybe you'll pick it up as we keep going on here. If there's a hallmark of what this ball does, it is consistent. Its consistency is unprecedented. This might be the most consistent ball that I've thrown in the 14 months that I've been back bowling. It just always does the same thing. Even if you throw it slower, it does the same thing. It'll just do it a little more. If you throw it harder, it'll do the same thing a little less. You know, you really can manipulate this ball, and I think it works really well. So now you'll see, I don't know if you've noticed, but I've moved over to the right now. So we're going more like that 12-5. I wanted to see if I went a little more direct and change the angle in, if the ball would work, and it has. I've used this in scenarios where I've had to swing the lane on a mid condition. I've used it on a sport pattern, which was the red square pattern, and I've used it on heavier shots like this. Now that one there, I got a little slow. That was 17.94, and you see the ball, the motion doesn't really change. It just did it a little more. This ball is incredibly consistent, and I really am encouraged by that, because usually with asim pieces, big asim pieces like this, I either match up or I don't. A couple of big asims that I haven't matched up with would be like the Crux Prime, the Motive Venom Recoil, to a certain extent I would say the Halo. That's very conditional for me. But on the other hand, there are big asim pieces that I have that I really have matched up well with. So like the Halo Vision, this volatility, the conspiracy theory, the baller. So it's really a very interesting ball. And one thing that I think is really interesting about this ball too is I think even lower speed players can use this. I think guys that don't overwhelm the lane and overpower the lane can still use this. A lot of times with ASIM pieces, they tend to lose their energy before they get to the pins, and then so you get that scenario where the ball hooks and then it stops hooking, and then it just kind of starts rolling end over end with no power to it whatsoever. That's not the case with this ball. I've seen numerous people use it, and it looks really, really good. So we finish out this game pretty strong. I missed that 10 pin, which really irritates me because I usually don't miss those too often. So I was a little irritated at that. But I really felt like if I could have scored huge with this ball this day. So does it make the bag, and which one? Well, it makes the 3-ball tote, and it will replace the Motive Forge Fire, which is also a good ball, but I think this one's better. Grade here is an A, so let's get to the grade sheet. So first off, the appearance. Whoever 900 Global has taking pictures for them, they need to get rid of that person, because this ball is beautiful. This photo does not do justice to how good looking this ball is. 4.5 points for appearance. Reliability, as we talked about earlier, is the motion reliable for me to strike? And the answer here emphatically is yes. Repeatability. If I do the same thing, does the ball do the same thing? Is a 4.5, and the answer is yes. And actually, even if I don't do the same thing, the ball still does the same thing. So finish here, it finishes really, really well. And then hitting power. The king of hit in my arsenal right now is the Deviate Poison. That is a thick shell, 2-piece symmetric bowling ball. So it's designed to absolutely destroy racks. And prior to this ball, number 2 was the Columbia Baller, but this ball has really taken the number 2 spot. It hits so hard. I don't know if the video could really relay that, but it really does hit incredibly hard. Letter grade here, 23 points and an A. This is a fantastic ball. I think this will work its way into the main bag soon. So here's what's in my arsenal as of now. The Columbia Baller is one of my go-tos. It's almost a benchmark for me. The Conspiracy Theory, kind of same thing. Really like that ball. The Venom Shock Pearl here has been in my bag for a while and will stay there for a while. Then we've got the Storm Phase 3, which is a fantastic bowling ball. And then probably one of the most underrated balls on the market, the 900 Global After Dark Hybrid. Really, really great piece if you're looking for a weaker ball. So I want to say thanks to Arapahoe Bowling Center for allowing me to come in there and shoot and record and really do the things I do. Those guys are great over there. And then, of course, Bobby Layton over at Bobby's Pro Shop. He's one of the best in Denver. If you're in the market, be sure you go see him. He's inside AMF Aurora, and he'll get you set up. So as always, thank you for coming in. I appreciate it. Here's my email, and we'll see you on the next video. Really appreciate you guys being here. Thanks.